Hello everybody. This is the second recorded session. In this session we are going to study how to set up the configuration for the HMI. Let me remind that we have a PLC, a PC, and an HMI. They are connected through some Ethernet switch, so there are some Ethernet cabling between them. All of them are connected to the Ethernet switch. We have already established and set up the connection between PC and the PLC, and now we want to add the HMI to that network. Similarly, the HMI needs also to have the same, to be in the same domain with different address, device number. So for HMI we use this domain address 192.168.0 as a domain, and this 205 as a device number, which is consistent with the AMOT. The detail on configuring the HMI is given in this file. Basic HMI panel, especially scale number 1 and 2 are very helpful. The details are given here, but we are going to do that together in this recorded session. Okay. Here you can see the HMI panel in my trainer. There are two main menu for that: transfer, start, and setting. Setting is regarding configuration and changing the time, changing some details on the configuration of that regarding the internet, sound, or anything else. Start, when you click on the start, in fact, you can see, let me click, this is the main HMI panel that we see. This is the HMI diagram that is prepared for one of the programs. This is something that you will see that later. And there's another one that is up here, is the transfer. The transfer is just regarding checking transfer of information or the program from the PC to the HMI. Okay, so it just lets you know from which channel you are going to load the HMI program through the Profinet, the Ethernet that we are going to use, or you're going to connect a USB file directly, a USB device directly to the HMI and download the program from the USB. This is not the one that we are going to use. That we are going to prepare the program in the PC and download that directly through Ethernet. So this one, it just shows you the progress of that we will look at that later. So under the setting, okay, there are many options. Let's work on that part that we need for configuration. There's one here, network interface. Okay, click on the network interface. And here you can see the IP address for the HMI. Is it clear? Yeah, it's right now it is 0000, the subnet and a gateway. To change the IP address, just click on that. Let me show you again. Okay. Just in front of the IP address, just click on that. Okay. And then you have all the keys that you need to change the address. The address that you're going to give to the HMI is this one, 192.168.0.205. So let me change that here. Simply 192 dot, don't forget the dot, 168.0.205. Simple. And then click on the enter. See everything from the screen. Please notice PLC doesn't have any keyboard and the HMI and display. So we need to define the IP address for the PLC using the PC and download that information on that somehow. But for the HMI, you can set the IP address directly from the HMI screen display. And the subnet also, as I mentioned, it should be 255.2. Where's the dot? Okay, dot 255.255.0. Very good. And then simple. Just to be check that it is in the auto negotiate. The mode and speed is in the auto negotiate. And yeah, this is the MAC address that is unique for this HMI, and the device name is something that is given. You may change that if you like. There are many other options that you can change. So here, click on the setting, some options. Okay, some options like, for example, the date and time. We can set the date for that. Okay, or you can select whether you want to have the sound every time that some variables change or not, but we are not going to use that. So this is the only thing that we need to go through that for initial configuration, the network interface. This is on the on the HMI. So now our HMI, let me show you the, okay, our HMI has this IP address, and then we need to connect that, okay? So the HMI has the address, and we need to connect that. This is the program and that we had in the previous session, at the end of the previous session, regarding the PLC configuration. The program is in the run mode. Okay, I told you that it's possible from the PC to change the program from the stop, from the run to stop, or from the stop to run. If you want to change that, first please notice it is in the monitoring mode, so you can simply click on this to switch off the monitoring, and it asks, do you want to go offline? Yes. So there's not any monitoring, and then from here you can change the PLC from the stop to run, or from the run to stop. This is something that we will work on that later, but something that we want to do in this session is to add HMI to this device. To do that, okay, here you have this add new device, okay, add new device. So click on this add new device in under the PLC configuration, double click of course on that, and the controller for the PLC that we used in the previous session, but this time HMI. So select the HMI. The display is 7-inch HMI. It is a KTP 700 basic types, so use these basic types. And the second one is the one that we have here, and I think it is consistent with the HMI that you have in your trainer. So select that version of the firmware in the HMI. That this is the version that that we have here, and this is consistent with the version that you have in your manuals. It is also mentioned in the manuals of your HMI. So click on the OK. Then you click on the OK. Then a new window pop-ups. It takes a few seconds. You need to define, okay, here. This is the wizard for the HMI. The first thing is that, okay, this HMI is going to display some information from the plant, and from that the information sent by the PLC to that, okay? So the first step is to select the PLC, because as I mentioned, there might be in your network, there might be more than one PLC. So it is important that you select which PLC, information of which PLC is going to be used for the HMI, to be displayed in the HMI. The PLC, okay, this is the PLC that we have in our that you have already defined, PLC1, okay, and then click on this confirm icon. Okay, so this is the connection is established. You can follow this next. Okay, it is possible to add some header like date, time, and logo. I'm not going to use them, but later you can also use these. And also something regarding the alarms that we are not going to use. If it is enabled, please disable all of them. They might be enabled. Also, we are not going, this is the root screen. It's possible to have multiple screen, okay, multiple screen, and then have some configuration for that. We are not going to change that. We are going to have this just root screen. In one of the activities, we will add one more screen to our HMI to have practice regarding adding some HMI. But right now, just a root screen. We are not going to have multiple screen, and then next, and then finished. Okay, reach to this point and then finish. Okay. Okay, so let me change the size so it's see that better. Okay, this is a HMI screen in the default HMI screen according to our selection. There's not any date, there's not any logo. You could add that. Also, of course, there's one text here, welcome to HMI. You can simply delete that or move that somewhere else, but I simply. So you see that it's a blank HMI environment that you can build your HMI here. Okay, so that's all. This is configuration. So we have all, okay, one more step, one more step regarding the configuration is that connect the HMI to your system. So device configuration, click here, okay, double click on this, and then here you see the HMI. Double click on that. In the bottom of this, you can see the IP address, some information regarding the HMI. One of them is under the general, under the Profinet interface in Ethernet address. And if you go down here, again, the default IP address that is given by the program is 2, 192.168.0.2. But something that we want is 205. So let's change that to 205. Okay. And then here, click here. Again, access to start search. Okay. This is the HMI 205. The one that we have established. Show that. Okay. It is here. So you have that HMI 205. Okay, something that you want is to go online and see what's in our PLC. So go online. Go online to which one? The HMI. Go online. Okay, it asks you. Okay, this is the IP address that we give in our program. You see the interface the same, enter the same, but here, connection to interface subnet. Please select this one, PN, not direct. It's not directly because the HMI is not directly connected to the PLC. It is connected through the switch, so select the switch. And then show device with the same address. Okay, the address that we have in our project is the same address as we have already set for the PLC and for the HMI on the display. So yes, the same. You may select the compatible device, but let's see the same address. But if the address is not exactly the same as this, so the address that we set, the address that we set here is not exactly the same as the address that we define in our program, then it cannot find that. In that case, it's better to select the compatible. So it looks for any compatible device. Okay, the 7-inch KPT, KTP device, and then start. Okay, so anyway, then go online. One way to check whether you are connected correctly to the correct HMI or not, it is online. Okay, it's online. One way is to, when you are here, okay, when you are here and search for that. Okay, let's assume that you have more than one HMI and you want to be sure that this is the HMI that you're looking for. That click on this flash LED. The same for the PLC. The same for the HMI is very simple. Click on this flash LED, and then if you look at the screen, you see that it flash. So the screen flash. It means that okay, this is the PLC. It is the HMI that you have. What about the PLC? Okay, regarding the PLC, let me just a little bit. Okay, here. Look at this point. Okay, look at this. Okay, let me change. So stop. For the PLC, select the PLC and then flash LED. Okay, here you see. I'm showing you. Okay, here. You see that? The LEDs flashes. When these flash, it means that this is the device that we selected. For the PLC, after some flashing, it stops automatically, but for the HMI, it continues until you disable the flash. Okay. So now the PLC and the HMI. Now the HMI is connected to the network, and the next step is to build a very simple HMI. Okay, screen. Download that and see the results. Okay. To build the HMI screen, select the HMI, okay, from here, and then under the screens, select the root screen, double click on that. Okay, this is the root screen that we have already saw. That there was some text that we delete that. I'm going just to make a very simple HMI. We will go through the more complex one step by step through this course, but let me just add one. Here you have some toolbox. We have a toolbox with some objects, elements, and like that. We will work with some of them through this course, but let's just select one rectangle here, okay, and one circle here. Very simple, okay, just a rectangle and a circle. And then I'm going to connect this rectangle to the input, okay, and this to the output, the circle to the output. Double click on that, and then here you have the part or the section that you can change the colors of that, add some animation to that, and like that. For example, here, appearance. The background color, it's in gray. Let me change that to, for example, I don't know, red. Okay, you see, we can also change the border of that. You can change the layout. Of course, you can move that from here, there, or make it smaller or larger. You can also do that from here. There are some more options that we will work on that later. But the one option that I want to work on that is this animation. Click on this animation, okay, and then under the display, you have add new animation. Double click on that, okay, appearance or visibility. Okay, just as an example, let's use this appearance, for example. Okay, and then here you have a tag. So you can connect this rectangle to one of the variables in the PLC. Okay, it is here under the tag, appearance under the tag. Click here, okay, and then under the PLC, go to the PLC tag, here, okay, and then default tag. Here you see all the tags that are available in your PLC. Input 4 and Q number 0. Okay, let me connect that to this input 4 and then say, okay, this is input 4. Good. It appears after a few seconds. Okay, tag number 1. This is the tag for that input 4. Okay, just have a look to that. Okay, let me show that to you again. Okay, input 4, the address as the name, tag number 1. We will look at that, how to change that later. Okay, then here under this part, you click on the add new. Okay, the value of that, it means that when the value is 0, the background to be color to be red. You can change that. Okay, but let me change the other case. When the value is 1, what about that? I change that to, for example, green, this green. Okay, so it means that if the input 4 is 0, so the state of that is 0, the color of this is red. When the input is 1, the state of that is 1, the input is green. Very simple change. Let's go to the output, to the circle. For the circle, we can change again the appearance, the color, and like that, but just the animation. This time, again, under the display, add new animation. This time I'm going to change the visibility of that. Click the visibility, and then again, connect this circle, visibility of this circle, to some tag. Which tag? Okay, click here to see all the tags under the PLC tags. And this time I connect that to tag number 2, output 0.0. Okay. And then I want to say, I'm going to say that if the value of that is 1, okay, change this from 1 to 1. Okay, the value of that is either 0 or 1. So when the value is 1, it is visible. Otherwise, it is invisible. So it is visible when the value is between 1 and 1. Of course, it has just two values, so 0 or 1. And I define that it is visible. You can define to make it invisible. Oh, let's make it invisible. Okay, let's assume we're going to change that like this. If the value of the output is 1, okay, from 1 to 1, so if it is 1, it will be invisible. Very simple. So something that we expect is that when we push the push button, the value of the input becomes 1, so this should change to green, and the value of the output also becomes 1, and this should display disappears. Okay, so that's all. And then let me first, it's a very simple display and HMI. So first let's compile that. Click on this compile to be sure that there's not any error on that. Okay, no error. Okay, no error. That's good. And then download that. Again, select the HMI and then the screen, and then download that. Okay, okay. It is not online. It is not offline. It is online. You remember that we connect to that and make it online. So first go offline. Let me again mention that for the PLC, the program can change when we are in the offline mode and the PLC is in the stop mode. For the HMI, we should be in the offline mode. So let's go to the offline mode, and then you see the download icon enables. So click on this to download that. Okay, here it asks you ready for loading. Overwrite if objects existing online. It asks whether you have to overwrite. Yes. There's one more option sometimes maybe appear here regarding changing the firmware version. Do not select that. Otherwise, you're sure to change that. Do not change that. There might be some error on that. But regarding overwriting the objects, that's fine. Then when you select that, then click on the load. here you see that it showed. Oh, sorry. I wanted to show you that what will happen. Yeah, this is the program. This is the display. We just have this display, and then let me push the switch. Okay, here you see. When I push the switch, that input switch, similar, okay, the box becomes green, and the circle disappears. Okay, and when I release that, this becomes red, and this is visible. It appears. So it's very simple. It's not any special program, but these properties and these specifications are those that we are going, these objects are those that we are going to build our HMI through that. We will work on that later in the future sessions. Okay, that's all for this configuration for the HMI.